This Let's take a look at problem 5.6 in our project 3. And this problem wants us to order a set of 3 strings and figure out which one is the smallest, which one is the largest, and which one is the middle. So how do we start even thinking about a problem like that? The first thing is to try to identify the input the software will need to receive, the actions that the software will need to take, and the output that the software need to deliver or to display to the user at the end. So for the input in this particular problem, the software need to receive from the user 3 different strings. That's it. It's a simple problem. And the actions that the software will need to take is to decide on which of those 3 strings is the smallest, which one is the middle, which one is the largest. And the output that this software need to display is to inform the user of the decision that the software came up with. In other words, is to tell the user of the 3 strings that you entered, this one is the smallest, this one is the middle, and this one is the largest. Now this is a very simple problem that is meant to help us explore how we can make our program decides. The aspect of ordering a set of strings or ordering collections is a very elaborate topic, and we will cover it in more details later on when we discuss collections. But for now, our main focus is to explore this idea of how to make our program decides, how to make our program intelligent. That's what I use to describe this. So once you analyze your problem, figure out what exactly the input and what exactly is the output and what actions the program need to take, the second question you ask yourself, how do you organize your program in order to deliver on that? And we have learned about organizing our programs in classes. So this particular problem that has one action and a set of 3 data, we can organize it into 2 classes. The first class is kind of a standard class, the string, what I called here the string app. This is going to be our main class. It will have the main method. It will derive all the actions from the user. So it will receive input from the user, manage all the actions of the program, which will include to declare an object of type string set, which is the name I gave to the second class, and we will talk a little bit what this second class is really doing, what's the role in the software. But the main class, the string app in blue here, will declare object of the type string set, will send the 3 strings to the string set, so inform or pass on the data to the string set, and will display to the user which one is the smallest, the middle, and the largest. And this is in collaboration with the string set, so the string set has to give the string app those 3 values. So how about the string set, what it will do? The string set class represents a set of 3 strings that are ordered. So as we mentioned, every class represents a concept. So what concept does this string set class represents? It represents 3 strings that are ordered all the time. So this class always knows which of the 3 is the smallest, which of the 3 is the largest, and which of the 3 is the middle. And this is why when we think about the data that this class has, or that this class represents, or the data or the attributes of the concept that this class represents, we're thinking about a smallest, a largest, and a middle. Each one of those 3 is of type string. The class contains several actions. The first action is, of course, our set and get, and I didn't even we have the default constructor, which is the second one here in the class, the string set, and we said the constructor is a special method that have the same name as the class name, and it doesn't have any return value, but it can have parameters. You can have as many of those special methods as you want in your class. Why are they special? because when we create an object or attempt to create an object of this class, we use the new operator in EW. You used it before, and after the new operator we've always used the class name with parentheses. Actually, we were not using the class name. We were sending a message to the constructor of the class. So these methods that we define here are the methods that we will call with this new operator. So maybe I'll take a step. Take a step back a little bit and figure out and ask a question. So why do we need a default constructor and a parameterized constructor? It's part of your design. How do you want to receive from the user? How do you want anybody who uses this class to send the three constructors? The design I'm proposing here is a design where in the main class, when the user tries to create an object or a variable of a string set, they will use new, call the string set, and then pass on those three strings. So the string set, the parameterized constructor, is the one that I'm intending by this design to use. So I'm not intending really to use the default constructor. So why do I have it? We will talk more in several weeks about why do we why we should have a string set default constructor. But for now, take it as a good practice, a good habit. Every time you create a constructor that is parameterized, always create a default one as well. The second action we have is the set and get for each variable. So each class variable, like the smallest, largest, middle that I define here, we need to create the set and get in order to encapsulate the field and provide interface to whoever is using this class so that they can access it. In this case, do you think we need set? We know in going back to the main class that we said the main class will ask string set to give it the smallest, the largest, and the middle. And how is it going to use this? Through the get methods. So, but where in our design did we say we're gonna need the set? We're creating the passing the value through the parameterized constructor. So, in the design I'm proposing here, I don't really anticipate to have a set method. Should I keep it? Should I not keep it? That's a design decision. In my case here, I'm keeping it, although I know I'm not really gonna use it for that particular solution, but who knows, maybe after a while we find a need for having those methods. And we need an action to order the set, and this is action so far is going to be called from inside that constructor. So the constructor will initialize those data and will order them. So at any point, once you initialize this class, all the ordering will be determined. So how do we order? This is what is going to go inside the method that's called order. So this is like kind of a step by step of what we need to follow. Or in other words, you can say this is my algorithm to figure out which one is the smallest. One way to do that is what you see here, and what I want you to think about, as I mentioned earlier, if there's something you can't do yourself on a piece of paper, you can't really get the computer to do it. So if you have three strings yourselves and you want to order them, how would you do that? How would you figure out an order one string is less than the other? You're correct. You order the strings based on whether the letters are located before in the alphabet order, and the lowercase comes before the uppercase. So, so if you follow this, what you need to do in this three, and you usually look with your eye and figure that out immediately, but if you try to think deeper inside your brain and figure out what actually your brain has done, which happens natural to you because you have done it so many times, you may think of something that first you assume that one of them is the smallest. So let's say you take the first one and assume that this first one is the smallest. Then we compare the second one with the smallest. If the second one is smaller, then we assign the second one to the smallest. So now the smallest is the second one, not the first. If the second one is not the smallest, okay, so this means that the first is still the smallest and our assumption was correct. Then we go to the third one and do the same thing. If the third one is less than the smallest, then we assign the third one to be the smallest, and now we have the smallest. If the third one is larger than the smallest, this is mean then our assumption, or that the second is the smallest. Since these are only three, after you finish the third one, this means that you ordered them. You figured out which one of the three is the smallest. Now we repeat the same thing for the largest. So we assume that the first one is the largest. Then we compare the second with the first, and if the second is larger, then the second is the largest. Same thing for the third. After this process, we will know which one is the largest. If you figure out which one is the smallest, you figure out which one is the largest, then the third one will be the middle. So if the string 1 is the largest and if string 1 is not the largest and string 1 is not the smallest, this means that string 1 is the middle. If string 2 is not the largest and string 2 is not the smallest, this means that string 2 is the middle. And if string 3, if neither 1 is the middle and neither 2 is the middle, this means that the third one is actually the middle. So this is what we are going to try to do in this problem, and you can see the second video for how we are going to implement this design. Thank you.